not told me yet. The hangout. This hangout is on air now. We are live. We're going. This is happening.
Oh my God.
This very second.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. It's happening. It's happening.
So this is cool. So this is a podcast where you get to look at Roper's beautiful face and listen to everyone else's voice.
That's true. I wonder. Yep, it's me. Okay, so I can actually move this and go.
You can.
Yeah, there's the boys.
That's me.
Alex, say hi. All right, there we go. I might change that here in a minute.
If you can't tell, that's my extremely engaged, dialed in sitting position.
It is. I don't think I've ever seen you not do a show like that.
No, this is how I have to do it.
So, but Dire Monkey will still be a voice in the background. That's what this is going to be.
Ever behind the curtain.
Forever.
So this is it. This is the podcast. We're doing it right now.
No, we're going to do a countdown like we always do.
Oh, but we're broadcasting right now?
Yeah, we're live right now is what it says. It tells me we're live. And we already have a question from Josh Jones. That's so weird that he'd want to send us a question.
Josh Jones. Any relation to Dan Jones?
That's a fine question.
I've not heard that name
I
before.
don't think we should I don't think we should explore that.
Probably not. This way lies madness.
Exactly. All right. So whenever you're ready, we'll do a countdown. This way we can crop it off like we always do.
Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Hi, and welcome to the 18th episode of Spoilercast by Alltower Media. Tonight we're talking about horror movies, scary stuff, spooky things.
Spooky, scary.
I think we called this Live Haunts.
All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows. I like that.
I think that was Josh. I don't take credit for that.
You don't?
Nope.
I'm fairly certain this says Live Haunts.
Well, it can be both, Roper. You can be two things at once.
That's true.
It's called cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance. This is what, the third time we've made reference to that on this show, and every time we always talk about my favorite game, which you've been playing every now and again, which is
Spec Ops: The Line.
Spec Ops:
Which
The
has
Line.
nothing to do with horror, unless you consider true psychological pain and torment to be horror, which it is. But there's no spooky skeletons in Spec Ops: The Line.
That's true. Just the chaos and horribleness of
Horror of war.
Just what war is.
Just the charred corpses of a white phosphorus barrage.
The monster of man.
Yeah. It's a horror movie in the same way that Apocalypse Now is.
Well, I would agree. Yes. Yes.
What a weird place to start in.
Yes.
Why don't
that is a very weird place to start.
Why don't you lead this very weird train back on its tracks?
Okay. So
roller coaster, it's more like a roller coaster.
That's true.
We do loop to loops.
We just kind of wherever we want to be. Mm-hmm. Tangents.
Math.
Wait.
Okay.
Wake up.
Yeah, we must honor the fact that
Jareth is not here.
Human pterodactyl. Jareth is not here.
That's true. So we'll do introductions like we always do. Mike, you've been talking for a moment or two. I'm glad to see you've been back on with us tonight.
Yep. No migraines or car troubles today.
No migraines or car troubles or nothing like that. Alex, you've been on with us before. Hopefully tonight we'll be a little bit more engaged.
Sure.
Yeah. I know the last couple of times we've had lots going on. And tonight, I think you're going to be like a wealth of information because you've had 18 days worth of watching scary shit.
17, but tonight will be
okay. 18 is tonight. So what's tonight's agenda again?
Tonight's agenda has not been decided yet.
It all depends.
It all depends on
the
if
audience.
the old wife is going to join me or not.
Yeah.
So 31 days of spooktacular filmness.
Yeah. And if the movie isn't scary, normally the special effects quality is.
Okay. Of course.
The god awfulness of some of these movies.
Depending on its year or budget.
Yeah.
We were talking before the show, and you said that so far of the 17 movies you've watched, Evil Dead, the first one is probably your favorite.
That'd be true. Yeah. The first Evil Dead, just many, many reasons. It's a great movie.
Do you think, okay, well, how does that compare to Army of Darkness, though, which is arguably the height of that franchise's insanity?
I think Army of Darkness is the pinnacle of that creative vein.
Yeah.
Whereas Evil Dead was like the raw version.
Yeah, that was where they seemed like they were just getting together to have fun almost.
Right.
Whereas Army of Darkness was like, let's throw skeletons at Bruce Campbell.
Well, and you could see the huge difference with a backer like Universal.
Yeah.
They're just throw some money at this and here.
Yeah.
They got a lot more Three Stooges slapstick going on.
Yeah, I saw Army of Darkness long before I saw Evil Dead, and I thought I was watching it. It was after I had seen Lord of the Rings, so I was like 12, and I was like, oh, it's medieval and there's skeletons and fighting, but it was not what I was going in for at all. I had the way wrong impression watching that. What do you think of? Have you seen stuff for Ash versus Evil Dead?
It looks excellent. I haven't watched it though.
Okay,
it looks excellent.
It's not out yet. It comes out on Halloween.
Oh, that's right, doesn't it?
I am excited and disappointed that I don't have money for premium cable.
We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, there are ways.
Mm-hmm. The internet has ways. So did you see the remake of Evil Dead?
No, actually, I will not. I will not see it. I have not seen a single frame of that movie, and I won't because it is heresy. It should not have been made.
Did Sam Raimi not head that movie though?
Sam Raimi and Rob Tappert and Bruce Campbell were producers. But ironically, I actually sent an email to Bruce Campbell years before that came out when it was first being talked about.
Yeah.
And I sent a 2-page email begging him not to make it because
Jesus,
the thing I have with remakes and reboots that don't honor where the movies were going, or they just want to recash in on the title.
Yeah.
Is they bring these old movies back into the popular culture, but these people aren't actual fans.
Yeah.
And it's just trendy. And it ruins a piece of my childhood.
It was so weird because
I'm picky about it, but it does.
It was so weird because it drained I think like the original Evil Dead of some crucial X factor that it had, and like kind of rebranded it as a more typical horror movie, like for modern audiences.
Right.
It was just weird that especially, but Sam Raimi can fucking do a horror movie. Like that dude can do it. But yeah,
I've been hearing that what they were planning on doing, God knows if they'll do it, is that they're going to make an Army of Darkness sequel with Bruce Campbell. And then they were talking about doing one sequel to the remake and then an additional sequel that would bring all the storylines together.
Huh.
Now, I think that what that was turned into Ash versus Evil Dead. But
I see.
If that did happen, I'm going to have to go back and watch the remake just so I can catch up.
Yeah.
It's going to be painful. I'd have to be pretty drunk.
Just
that's not a challenge.
I was going to say, just bring some vodka with you and take a shot every time you get pissed off.
Yeah.
Every time
Bruce Campbell is not on screen.
But
right.
You should be sitting there with the bottle, just hanging it above your head. We might as well just go get an IV bag and just tap it straight into your arm. I mean, just let it hang the whole time.
Every time the scene would be improved by someone having a chainsaw arm.
There,
shot.
There. Again, we boil back to you just leave it hooked up.
You can play that. You can play that game for any movie, actually, if you want. If you want to die of alcohol poisoning, you can do all kinds of fun things like that.
You now are in a moderated what?
What?
I have no idea. It said something.
Oh, we get to have flaws. We're live. What did the thing pop up on the screen and say?
I was looking for a way to check mic levels in the actual Hangout because I'm not really sure that it's going through, but there's no way for me to do it. So,
well, if I could get someone on my end to send something up here on the questions deal, maybe I could find out from the people that might or might not be listening at this point in time. I think your wife is trying to listen. She sent me a text message saying that she couldn't figure out how the link works, so I sent a new one. So hopefully that'll be corrected.
Roper, I say you should post up this link right now on Facebook.
That's what I'm doing. I have been doing. I've been trying to do.
Fair enough.
So Josh posted up a question for us already,
Excellent.
And that would be, what is our favorite scary movie?
So
Showgirls.
Showgirls is your favorite scary movie.
That's what he said. That's
is it?
Dire Monkey's vote is Showgirls. That's his favorite scary movie.
Have you never seen Scream 2?
No, actually, I've not.
It's a reference.
Okay.
What's yours?
Favorite scary movie? I really don't know. Like, I don't know if I have one.
Really?
Yeah. Scary movies that like I can think of. I've seen some that have frightened me, but none that like I hold dear, really.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick, I'd probably pick Alien because I just think it's a well-crafted horror movie. and it's got a spaceship in it, and there's an alien.
I know what Jareth's would be.
Event Horizon.
Event Horizon.
I don't know. I don't know if that would be his favorite horror movie, though.
No, but every time we're on here, we always jab fun at the fact that he's scared to death of Event Horizon.
Yeah.
That movie, by the way, is one of the greatest lines in any horror movie. We're always watching the movies wondering, why do they keep going into the room? Why don't they just leave? But in that movie, you have Lawrence Fishburne.
And he says,
fuck this shit.
I was about to say, he says exactly what you want him to say in that movie. I mean, verbatim.
Yeah.
Like, it's in your head, and then he says it, and you're like, yes!
Yep. You can almost watch him drop the mic and be like, done.
Yep.
Just like that. That's exactly what it would be. Boom. Backing out slowly.
But yeah, Alien or the original Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alex?
The original Halloween's one of them. It's hard to pick a favorite of any kind of movie for me, but I don't know, another good one that I really like, it's kind of borderline horror, more creepy, is Arachnophobia.
See, I like that movie.
I
was watching that a couple of weeks back.
Giant spiders?
Well,
no, just regular spiders.
Yeah. It's the one really big tarantula looking one that was from South America that kills the dude and then rides back in his body.
Right.
And then it breeds with a domestic house spider and creates like these tiny little fucked up gnarly little ones that just basically take over this town. Best character in that whole movie.
John Goodman.
I knew you were thinking the exact same thing I was.
John Goodman's in that movie?
Have you not seen this?
I've never seen that.
He like shows up. He's the exterminator, and he shows up and he's like spraying them down, and they're not dying as a result of spraying them down. So he just starts crushing them with the canister, and it's still not killing them.
He's like one of the only people in the entire movie that's never afraid.
Yeah. No,
he's just casual, another day on the job.
Yeah, he's just like fucking spiders. I mean, he goes around just doing his job, right? He doesn't care that they're like these horrible super death spiders, right? He's just like, you died just the same.
Yeah. Fair enough.
He's that world's version. So in that super spider death world, right?
Yeah.
He is Van Helsing to vampires, and that's who he is in this movie. He just walks in like, I don't give a hot shit. I'll kill you.
Cool.
He's the one that fights the monsters. But it's not. What's the main character's name in that? Or the actor?
Jeff Bridges or Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. That's who it is. Yeah, he's total cowardice whenever it comes to spiders. Everything.
Almost paralyzed by it.
Well, he is at one point in time. He's like completely petrified of spiders.
Yeah.
And he uses a can of spray paint and a match to like burn the thing's nest to pieces, and it serves its purpose. It's a good movie.
It does sound pretty terrifying.
It's a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually a really good movie, and
it's done very well.
It really is, because I mean, like it does the old man that's putting his shoes on. Was he the coroner? He's putting his shoes on.
I think he's the old town resident doctor,
something like that. And he puts his shoes on, and there's a spider in his shoe, and he's like, and he takes his shoe back off, and he's like, a little bastard bit me. And then the next thing you know, he's fucking dead. Yeah. And everybody's like dying of these little spider bites. And it's a good movie though. I really enjoyed it. So I don't have a favorite scary movie, but I do have a favorite special effect for horror movies.
Excellent.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
And the first movie that I ever really actually saw it in was from the 1999 House on Haunted Hill. Okay. Which wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a bad movie.
You know what? I like that one. That one's kind of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. Is it on your list? Have you watched it?
I have not watched it yet. It is on the list.
I was about to say you should. If you don't, then you got to at least watch the 1959 version of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's the original black and white.
Yeah.
But anyhow, they're downstairs in one of the basements, and they see this person. They're like, way the hell over there, right? And they're yelling at him. And this thing's just kind of like doing this real slow, shambly walk back and forth. Right. And then the next thing you know, it's like, and it's like, boom, right up in front of them. And like, they jump back because like they were just over there, but the motion, it still looks like they're moving really slowly. Right. Even though they're kind of tottering back and forth like this, but all of a sudden they're like, and they're like right in front of them. They do this kind of the same thing in the movie The Ring, when she comes out of the TV and he's way over on the other side of the room and she's slowly walking forward towards him. And then all of a sudden she's like, boom, right on top of him. And it startles them so much that they like fly over backwards. Right. Because suddenly it's like, oh my God, you're right here. You know, you weren't expecting them to start moving that quickly.
A very natural reaction to something like that.
Right. I love that special effect. It scares the shit out of me.
Yep. Yeah, virtually every time.
It's pretty creepy looking on
it's
film.
Kind of horrible. Favorite horror movie though? Rocky Horror Picture.
Man, okay, that does not count.
Yeah, because Tim Curry's a scary motherfucker. I can't see him not in clown makeup. So it would actually be my favorite horror movie. And then Rocky Horror Picture subsequently because
to you it's an evil clown in drag.
Yes. Singing the Time Warp.
I get it. I get it now. That's the dance that they do. You only got to see that dance if you were watching live.
Well, you know what's funny is I'm right there and I get to watch myself do that out of the corner of my eye.
So, okay. I obviously was thinking about this before I came on the show. And I just don't have a favorite horror film. I played a lot of horror video games though.
By the way, we have another question as soon as you're done with this.
Okay. Horror video games. I have so many favorites. I have trouble picking one.
Okay.
There's, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, classically Fatal Frame is what really got me into horror games. That game freaked my shit out.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Duke Nukem?
No. In Fatal Frame, you play this little Japanese girl with a camera. The way that you fight the enemies in that game, and they are horrible like ghosts that do the creepy thing you were just talking about, pop out of places, shamble around, then they're right up in your face. The way you fight them is you take pictures of them.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to look fear right in the eye in that game. But Amnesia is a game that's amazing. If you're a fan of Yahtzee, you've heard his summary of Amnesia, which is, if you want to know what amnesia is like, sit down in a chair, tie a blindfold on where you can't see anything, and shit your pants for 5 hours.
Oh my God.
That is what that game is. But still nothing compares to PT. PT was a playable teaser for Silent Hills, a game that now is not going to come out.
I've just heard about that not coming out.
I knowing nothing of what it would really be, I played PT for about 20 minutes, and that is the single most terrifying experience I've had playing or watching or reading anything.
So, Allie, first off, I know that she's actually listening now because she's actually interacting with me via chat feed here. So, hi, Allie.
Oh, technology!
Hi,
Technology's fantastic. How's our sound, Allie? You can send me a message on here and tell me how our sound.
Probably be like 60 seconds.
Maybe it doesn't matter. She's typing now, so we'll see. She sent a question over asking both myself and Al, and you can chime in, and Dire Monkey, you can chime in as well because obviously I want your input. But it says, does having children make you more scared of Chucky? and for me, I have to say no because just no. I mean, he's just a little bastard doll.
You just punt him.
Yeah, you just kick him right in the head.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. There was a made-for-TV movie. I don't even remember what it was, but it's this little robot, and it was playing a game, right? And maybe you guys can help me with this. Maybe you guys have seen it. There's this little robot, and it plays a game where it's kind of like Nerf. And as you shoot it, it levels up. And the more it levels up, the more sophisticated it gets. And all I remember is at one point in time, one of the players that's in this runs down some stairs, and it's got like track wheels, and it's not able to go down the stairs because it's like I can't make it down the stairs. And so he's able to get a kill off of it based on that. And so then it upgrades itself to solve the problem of being able to go downstairs. And instead of shooting little Nerf balls at one point in time, it reloads itself with ball bearings. Oh. And so it becomes lethal. So I thought that one was a kind of a cool movie. And like I said, I have really no idea. Let's see here. Worded better, having irrational afraid. Al, stop coughing. There you go. So I'm passing messages. But I don't even remember what the name of this movie was, but it's this horrible little robot that like I said, they get it, and it's some kind of prototype that basically sits there and it adapts and overcomes the players, and it's supposed to be this kind of fun thing, but as it goes along, it starts like actually killing people.
It doesn't sound very fun.
Yeah, so I'm more terrified of that being a thing where it's like adaptable technology that's slowly getting better at killing you versus you and I had this discussion. Chucky is the original version of Annabelle.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Don't probably me. It's a possessed doll that becomes homicidal.
I mean, I don't know. Was there something before Chucky?
No, not that I can think of. Not that fell into the same premise where it's a killer or whatever that ends up severing its soul and tethering it to a doll, basically.
Have you seen the trailer for The Boy?
No,
it's another movie about a creepy doll.
Yeah,
Its
origin is Chucky.
It does seem like Chucky.
It's all Chucky.
I mean, dolls are creepy.
They can be.
So, I mean, it makes sense that you would want to make a movie about a doll murdering people.
There's a magic card called Creepy Doll.
Of course.
Just saying.
Anyway, Alex.
I don't know. I don't think having kids or not having kids would affect being afraid of child toys or Chucky or anything.
What about Children of the Corn?
Yeah, I don't know.
Having kids make you more afraid of children.
I almost have less. I have less fear. Like if you picture a scene, you're in your bed, it's nighttime, it's dark. You kind of wake up to a noise and you see this maybe 3 or 4 foot silhouette of something kind of menacing just standing by your door. Most people would be pretty creeped out.
Right.
I would just stand up in half a daze and be like, oh, come on,
go back to bed. Yeah.
Tuck in this little goblin, just give it a little kiss. Like, get back to sleep. This thing would be sitting on the couch with a knife like, what the hell?
Why isn't this working?
You just made it so uncomfortable it doesn't want to murder you anymore.
You hear child toys in the middle of the night, you just kind of sigh and roll your eyes.
That's a fair point. Yeah. Well, it's when you wake up in the middle of the night and you don't have kids that you see the little 3-4 foot tall silhouette and suddenly you're like,
that is a problem. Yeah.
Which Resident Evil, was it Resident Evil where they did that, where the couple's laying in bed and then they thought the neighbor kid had like came into their house?
Oh, that was the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
That's what it was.
That was an intense scene.
Yes, it was
creepy.
Do you recall that one?
That was in Dawn of the Zack Snyder.
I'm pretty certain.
With Ving Rhames and
I must not. Was that like the very beginning? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, that sets up because, the main girl.
Yeah, because the chick that's in it, it's her and her husband. They're in bed, and they hear something, and they like kind of sit up, and they look down the hall, and then they thought it was the neighbor kid who just like, I don't know. I guess it was like normal for the kid to come over or something like that. It's kind of the premise that they set up with that. And so he gets up to go talk to her. And she like runs in, jumps on him, and starts devouring him. And she manages to get away. But I mean, that was kind of a messed up scene because they don't have kids, but they recognize the kid at a distance, and so they thought that it was kind of okay.
Well, and they see the blood on her, and they think, "Oh my God, are you
something's
okay?"
Wrong.
They bring her in all close.
Yup, that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
Caring is the enemy.
Caring, empathy.
Yeah,
feeling bad for people around you, trying to help. That's the death of you.
Yeah.
Be assholes, people.
Yes, if you see a child, kill them.
No.
Moral of the story.
No.
What we're telling our listeners: if you see kids, shoot them. Hit them with baseball bats.
Don't ever do this. This is bad advice.
Have you guys seen the American Dad episode where it's like the rapture happens?
Yes.
And Stan's got the eye patch later.
Yes.
When they're going to find the Antichrist and Jesus is psyching him up in the elevator, and then it opens and the little kid just turns his head and Stan shoots it. And Jesus is like, "What are you doing? There's a prep school down the street. They get in here and play sometimes."
That's good. But yeah, you're right. Don't beat kids. That's awful. Run them over with your car. It's a lot less important.
They did that at the beginning of that movie as well, wasn't it? Or was it Zombieland where they had the kids like hanging from the side? It was Zombieland where they had the kids hanging from the sides of the car.
Yeah, that was a great beginning montage there.
It really, really was. They did a really good job putting that together, and it doesn't really. I wouldn't even constitute that as a scary movie. That's comedy.
No.
Yeah, it's so weird when you're talking about horror. It's so weird because in books, Twilight is like in the broad genres.
No.
For publishers at a bookstore, it's in the horror section. you know.
So's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Willy
it
Wonka
is.
and the Chocolate Factory is in classic literature.
It's a horror.
I'm talking about at the bookstore, Roper, not at your house.
No, it's a horror.
I understand what it is.
It's a horror.
Okay, you're arguing with someone who is not me right now.
Just saying.
But it's weird with horror because it's like you brought up the Rocky Horror Picture Show earlier.
Because it's terrifying.
And like some people would qualify that as a horror. It doesn't have to be scary. It just has to have like spooky things in it. And it doesn't even have to really scare you technically. But when I think of horror, I think of things that are going to make me shit my pants, you know, if I were in that situation. Whereas Zombieland almost just looks kind of fun.
I know, right?
I want to go on a quest for Twinkies and murder people
and to go to a theme park.
Yeah.
And meet Bill Murray.
That sounds fun. Yes.
And kill him.
No.
Well, that was heart-wrenching.
That was. I still like the fact that he shows up and they think he's a zombie to begin with, and then suddenly they're like, he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been playing golf," and
yeah,
he's like, "I just fucking blend in, man."
That seems exactly like what he would be like in real life. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so Dire Monkey.
Yeah,
I know that I'm going to limit your speakingness due to injury.
Yeah.
Horror movie. You got a favorite?
I'm a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Yeah.
Honestly,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. In very few words, what did you think of the remake?
It was okay. I think it lost a lot of the psychedelic or inside your mind kind of torture that he had in the original movies, but it was decent.
Yeah.
My favorite was like the third and fourth ones, I think, where it was really psychological.
Yeah.
The Dream Warrior type thing.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, that got pretty trippy, huh?
Yeah.
The fucking wizard kid and
well, yeah, that was a little goofy, but
yeah.
Was it Nightmare on Elm Street you were talking about the other day?
The second one?
Yeah.
Freddy's Revenge.
Yeah. Weren't you talking about that?
Yeah, that was randomly my first movie to watch on my little marathon. I'd never seen it. There it was on Netflix, so I threw it on.
But you read a thing about it
I
after
find out later. I'm actually watching a documentary later about the whole series.
Yeah, that's
and they
really
talk
good,
about
actually.
how the second movie is considered one of the gayest horror movies ever made.
What is this?
The main character is this younger kid. He moved into the house of the main family from the first movie, and then Freddy is trying to use him to come back and kill people. So there's this whole weird, almost sexual tension between him and Freddy, and I don't know. I didn't see a lot of the signs until I'm watching the documentary talking about it, and you're going, "Wow,
you're like, whoa, that was real gay."
They have a scene where the kid gets caught at a bar with his coach, so his coach takes him back and is basically working him out. And the coach gets killed, but before he dies, he gets dragged into the showers, hung up, stripped, and then whipped on the ass by a towel. Like, you're watching it and you're just kind of going, this is a little weird, but I don't see a big deal. And then you go back thinking about it, going, how is that not just completely obvious?
See, the whole time you're sitting here, you're like, this is making me
that was like, I think
mildly uncomfortable.
Well,
not scared. It's just kind of like, I'm not real sure if I need to divert my eyes at this point in time.
Yeah, I feel like this should be turning someone on, but it's not me.
Not me. Yeah, this is
like whoever made that movie. There was some repressed sexual feelings going on.
I believe the director was actually gay, or
the main actor
closeted. Actually,
was it?
Yeah,
the main actor is actually gay too.
Well,
the main kid. They said, I guess at the time he wasn't very open about it.
I did get a message in the chat that says, "Question for you, Mr. Al." Did that movie make you aroused? No. Okay. Well, I'll respond back here. I'm sure they're listening.
Alex says no. But
I love chatting with the stream. I have to say, I wish we could do this more. It's actually kind of cool.
One interesting thing about that movie, though, in the first movie, it's all about Freddy in the victim's dreams and playing with them.
Yeah.
But in the second movie, they kind of took it to where it was more about the kid dealing with himself in the real world. So it was kind of like his personal dreams and some of his personal concerns were used to take him over in the real world. So it kind of took like the opposite stance of how much your dreams can affect you.
Right. So obviously we've got Nightmare on Elm Street, which is kind of an ongoing thing that kind of keeps plugging right along. And then they crossed it over with Jason.
They did do that.
And I have no...
That is a thing that happened. We don't have to talk about that.
We don't have to.
I think you should, because it's probably one of the funnier movies.
It is.
It's great.
Hilarious.
It really is. Especially the part where Freddy Krueger is Jason's mother for like a split second.
Kind of a Mrs. Doubtfire type thing, but it's Freddy Krueger.
And fucking Jason standing here with his machete like...
It's a horrible affront to both those series, but at the same time, it's so fun to watch.
I know. And then it turns around, and I'm fairly certain at the end of that movie is what sets up Jason X, which is the one in outer space, right?
Jason X actually
came first. Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which one took place.
There's no excuse for Jason X.
No. See, okay, the Jason movies, those aren't scary to me. Those are just carnage.
The first one?
Yeah, I was going to say
the second one, maybe.
Yeah.
The very first Friday the 13th is actually...
it's just carnage. That's all it is.
Well, it's a lot of tension.
He's a directed bullet that just kills everything, and you know what's going to happen. You're sitting here going, Sinner, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Sinners.
Well, that's the thing, but in rewatching those movies, I think it's hard to ignore the tension and like how you're kind of squirming in your seat a little bit because you do know what's going to happen.
But that's what takes away from it.
I don't know. I see what you're saying, and I definitely kind of think that.
So like the movie Crimson Peak that's getting ready to come out. I want to see that. It looks good.
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident you know that there's going to be ghosts and things of that nature in it, right?
Yes.
Fairly certain you've got an idea there might be some like demon activity and things of that nature, right?
What?
I mean, you kind of get that from what's being happened or what's happening there. And you kind of get this undertone that maybe Tom has something to do with it.
So
you get that, right? But you're still going to be startled by stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or at least that's the goal.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not going to just be this red caked up gore bloody thing that's been going on for 6 or 7 movies where
there's a line.
Yeah.
There is definitely
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's like you see I think the best example of this would be the Saw franchise, which its first movie.
I was just told we need to talk about Jason X.
Okay, is it okay that we talked about it for 4 seconds and skipped right over it? Because like that's what you're gonna get.
Anyway, talk about the funniest scene from Jason X.
Yes.
Where the guy lands on top of the drill bit and spirals all the way down. That's my favorite part.
No, when Jason picks up the sleeping bag with the girls in it.
Yeah.
The tree.
Or the guy that's like, "Hey guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete." You gave him his machete.
Yeah.
Then he chops him in two.
So,
you were saying
the Saw franchise, which started off with
that's just carnage as well.
That's what I'm saying. So, but the first movie, if you watch the first movie, there's really not a lot of gore in that. It's really not that violent.
But it's the suspense.
The first movie could almost be PG-13. Arguably, if you took a couple things out, it'd be a fight. You could probably do a PG-13.
Yeah,
but from
right
that
there
point,
at the very edge.
From that point, they took the elements of the gore and the torture and like just built on that with every subsequent movie, and that's where I'm like, man, they crossed the line by movie 2. Like basically with your like, this is just me watching people get mauled.
Yeah.
So if you're into that, then oh man. That movie delivers.
Well, it's was it Hostel?
Hostel was another one.
That's just more carnage to me, though.
Hostel was pretty bad about it. But man, there were scenes.
New question: how's Mike's head?
My head's great, and I know exactly who asked that question. It's like one time I have a migraine, and I will never stop hearing about it.
Apparently not. Okay, continue.
Yeah, there's like gems in movies like that, but Eli Roth, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Except for in Inglourious Bastards, he was pretty cool in that.
True. I like that movie.
That's a good movie.
Also, just carnage.
Yeah, but that's fun.
Crushing Nazis.
I don't feel like I was gonna
baseball bats.
I didn't feel like I was gonna vomit after that. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I watched like 2 of the Hostel movies and then just was like,
Yeah,
can't do it anymore.
Yep.
What's the worst of the 17 days of Halloween you've done so far? I'm calling it that for now. The 17 days of October, the horror marathon. What's the worst one you've watched where you just couldn't do it? You just couldn't do it.
Worst as in quality or
just
entertainment?
Whatever. Have you had one where you started watching it and been like, screw this, and turned it off and gone to a different movie?
I have.
Yeah.
And this will crack you up. And some people will disagree with me.
Okay.
I'm browsing through Netflix trying to pick a movie for myself for the evening.
Right.
And I come across Devil, the movie with the people stuck in the elevator.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
And I had heard a few things and I'm like, all right, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's give it a try. Never
Okay.
seen it. So I turn it on. First, I'm annoyed because there's an upside down camera shot of the city and it won't quit. It's just upside down.
Yep.
I'm making jokes going, this is ridiculous. And then I see M. Night Shyamalan
Yep.
and the movie goes off.
Yes.
That was
Done.
it. Wait, that was it.
That was it. I got no further. The movie was done. It was over. I think I tried to watch something else and wasn't
I
into
remember
it.
this. You posted something on Facebook. What was your post? Because it was awesome.
Yeah, I posted. I was trying to watch some movie called The Beast of Exmoor on
No,
some B movie,
didn't
and I
you
see
say-
M. Night Shyamalan, and it's like it's gone. It's just done.
Didn't you say something to the effect of "Pow, it's or bam, it's off"? Now, how's that for a twist ending?
Yeah, I got your twist ending. Movie stopped. What a twist! And then in my struggle to try and figure out a movie to watch, I thought, oh my god, I'll just throw on Evil Dead. What an or an easy fix.
Yeah.
But
Did you
that
watch
was the worst.
that zombie flip
The Horde.
The Horde?
I haven't watched that one yet.
I enjoyed that one.
I got caught watching a bunch of Hellraiser movies in a
Yeah.
row to the point where I had to physically stop because they were just getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
And I kept watching the next one.
You mean you didn't want to open the little puzzle box?
No, I couldn't be entertained anymore. And I don't know why I kept going to like, okay, let's watch the next Hellraiser.
So I don't think it would qualify as I know it won't, because I talked about it on the Revenge episode that we did just this last episode.
Mhm.
Last House on the Left, and it's not a horror movie at all, but the way certain things were executed in the movie, I really enjoyed some of it, which I kind of put it in the same category as Saw or even Hostel. It's this family. They're out in their cabin out in the middle of nowhere. The daughter and her friend, they go swimming. These bad guys show up and they end up raping and killing the friend, and they rape the daughter and leave her for dead. And she ends up getting back home, and the bad guys get trapped in the area and they need help basically. And so they take refuge at this house. Well, it turns out that the house where they've gone to is the parents of the girl that they just did this to, and the mom and dad in the equation find out that that's who these people are. And so basically these bad guys, these script bags, have stumbled into their own demise.
So it's like R-rated Home Alone.
Yeah, because the parents in the equation here are fully aware of what it is that these monsters have done to their little girl, and they're like, oh, we're not letting you leave. No, you're screwed. And they proceed to just murder the shit out of these people. And the last guy, the last bad guy that they have, the dad is a doctor, and he ends up rigging up an industrial microwave with the lid open, and puts his head inside of it and kicks on the microwave, and the guy's head like explodes inside the microwave. It's kind of fantastic. But like I said, I put that in the same category, but it's suspense. It's not really horror. And I think there's a hard line there that you need to look at between what you constitute as a horror movie versus what's just a suspense film, right? Because there's a lot out there that go into that suspense category where it's not really.
I agree. I think it's easier to look at basically everything as a horror movie, even if it's not really, just because it's a horror movie before it's going to be an action movie. It's a horror movie before it's a revenge film. It's probably a horror movie.
Would you qualify it as such?
I agree with you. I think it's a suspense thriller, but I'm just saying it fits in this conversation. Sure.
At the moment it does.
Can we talk about it?
Yes, because fuck clowns.
What do you think of that movie?
Fuck clowns. That's what I think about that movie.
Okay.
It's also so it's one of my more favorite stories by Stephen King, because he's not really a clown.
No.
He's an ancient evil from the darkness called the Prim, and he's a giant spider monster, basically.
Yes.
Been around for a long time, just eating things. And for the longest time, he masked himself as nothing more than a clown in order to draw kids in close, because kids are easy prey, right?
They are.
Not speaking from experience, but yes, indeed.
Well, I mean, whenever you look at it, most of them are gullible. They don't listen well to parents. There are reasons why in certain movies like this that they're targeted, right?
Yeah.
And for him, he's sitting there going, well, how hard is it to... Oh, wait.
No, he's gone.
No, he's gone.
We had a random guy from the office who tends to invade.
Yeah, that's the one that always rolls through and goes, hey, like at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
So
He just waved.
Yeah. But Pennywise is kind of terrifying, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's just this ominous dude that just kind of stands there and just kind of stares at you, and yet people just keep going over to him. Or, he's a random clown in the gutter.
Well, he has a balloon.
It's totally cool, and we all float. We all float, and he's terrifying.
Yeah.
Right.
What would
totally fuck Tim Curry for me? Just can't do it anymore. I can't. I am so glad that I forgot that he was in Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been able to watch that.
You're just watching that movie, a little kid walking into a hotel, and suddenly you're like, for no reason. Everyone around you's like, what's wrong?
Oh no, I've had plenty of people look at me and go, I would love. I mean, okay, how much would you love to watch Rocky Horror Picture Through My Brain?
That the next time I watch it, I'm gonna try to do that because
I mean, because people, they're like, how is that not amazing to you? And I'm like, it's terrifying. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That guy is totally broken for me. I can't watch him in anything.
It's weird. It's like imagining if the lead singer of Queen was an evil clown. If Freddie Mercury was like a blood-sucking demon.
Yes. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That's happening.
We're just name dropped the title. That's all that was.
That's happening this month.
Are you? You gonna watch that?
You will not get away.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm not watching it. No, it's not.
Oh no.
We'll see.
You're gonna invite him over in a couple days and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna watch Ringu, and then Roper, go get the chips real quick, and then
I will shoot people. Okay, to get out of that house, I will shoot people.
How did that handcuff get on your wrist, Roper?
So weird. Where'd your gun go? Oh no. So we've got another question.
Okay.
And I've been told that this is a legit question.
It's a legit question.
I'm going to post it up here in this feed as well.
Is it from listener Allie?
It is. She's got good questions.
I like that this is a live podcast with Allie.
With Allie. Yeah. So you might as well have been in the studio. We should have just brought the kids and just called it a day.
Yeah.
Let's see. A legit question. I know Al's opinion, but how do the rest of you feel about House of 1,000 Corpses? Would you classify that as horror or gore?
That's horror. Yeah. Go to Family Video. You're gonna see House of 1,000 Corpses in horror.
Fair point.
Rob Zombie, right?
Yeah, it is Rob Zombie. It's a Rob Zombie movie. One of my favorite scenes is in that. And I remember sitting in the movie theater, and I remember exactly what I was doing at the time because it was really quite captivating. They got the guy on the ground, and he's on his knees, and they're standing behind him. He's got the gun to the back of his head. And the whole time, I'm standing here, and I'm watching it, and I'm waiting. They got the gun there, and I'm waiting. You know it's coming. They're just going to shoot him in the back of the head, and it just keeps stalling.
Yeah.
They never do it, and you're sitting here, and finally I started going. It just never came. And then after finally you just give up, you're like, they're just going to hold the gun to the back of his head forever. And that's all they're going to do. And then all of a sudden he's like, boom. And you're like, finally, Jesus Christ. It reminded me of Peter Griffin falling over and scraping his knee. Where it just kept going, right? And they just stood there. And you just waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. And finally you're just like, what? This is how the movie's going to end right here.
Yeah.
The movie, it's just going to go to credits.
It's going to do this for 20 minutes. And credits
I paid for this. and then of course they ended up shooting him. But yeah, no, it wasn't a bad movie. It's different.
Is that his first one, or did he?
That's the first one I know of.
Dire
I
Monkey.
don't know.
No need to. Well,
Do
I
you know
guess
if that's
we might as well answer the question. I suppose.
yeah? Since you proposed the question.
Anyway,
Who is it?
House of a Thousand Corpses. Is that Rob Zombie's first film, or did he have one prior to? See, that clown that was in that as well is fucking terrifying.
they had everything in there, didn't
Yeah,
they?
no, it was god awful.
But even outside of the way a video store would categorize it, I still think it's there's gore all over the place. There's tension and stuff like that. It's mostly blood. I'll still call it horror.
Okay,
you?
I would agree that it's also within the horror.
I believe that
category.
was the first one.
What's that? House of a Thousand?
Yep.
Rock on. Good call, Mike.
Yep.
The Hills Have Eyes, in my opinion, is one of the really good ones in regards to a
Mr. Zombie.
Yeah. I liked it because it kind of sets a different tone for things.
And is it zombies or is it the original?
If
it's newer, then
it's toss up for me on which one of the two, but I really like the newer ones.
Yeah, they're both really fucked up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
like I said, I think it sets kind of a different tone.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like the Zack Snyder reboot. Like the way, like if you've read the Watchmen graphic novel and then you watch the movie, there are certain elements that are really stretched out and expounded on. It's like the same thing with The Hills Have Eyes and most of his remakes.
The other deal that I really enjoyed, which is kind of the same category because it's not monsters, right? They're mutants, basically, right? That's what the idea is there's nuclear testing and they've got these people that were out there that's kind of managed to survive. That was what the newer version of it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
No, it's the same in the
I was gonna say, I think
the same in the other. I couldn't remember. But the movie Wrong Turn, the first one that came out. What, you haven't seen it? Jesus, none of you? Neither of you?
No.
Yeah, you need to add that to your list. It's got a really cool death scene in that that I really, really liked. It's kind of the same thing where it's these it says right there on this thing, cannibalistic mountain men.
Oh.
6 people find themselves trapped in the woods west of Virginia, hunted down by cannibalistic mountain men, grossly disfigured through generations of inbreeding. That's from IMDb.
The Internet Movie Database.
Indeed, in case you needed to know that. But there's a scene where they're up in a tree and they're trying to go. Have you seen this film? You haven't?
Is this Wrong Turn?
Yeah,
again?
Wrong Turn.
Okay.
This is Wrong Turn. But they're up in this tree and they're trying to get away and they're walking out across this branch, right? And they're trying to jump to this next tree. And the first couple of them, it's like 1 or 2, I think, end up making it across. But then there's this other chick and she's standing there and she's like starts to go. And then she backs up and she's like eased up against this tree. And then all of a sudden you see this giant axe come around and it catches her right across the middle of the face, right? But the camera angle's above her looking down. Okay. So you actually see this axe blade hit and wedge itself into the tree. You see her body fall out from underneath her and topple down the tree, but the remainder of her head sits on top of the axe blade. It's actually kind of fucking cool.
Yeah, Roper,
I'm twisted. Shut up.
That's cool.
It was okay. It's not an angle you typically see, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's not. What's the was it 13 Ghosts or whatever, where they had the glass door that comes down and chops the guy in
Gets
half.
the guy right in the middle.
Those things, however awful they are, it's one of the things you don't see in all the movies, right? It's not something they do over and over and over again. You can kill anybody with an axe, right? But how many times have you ever seen something like that happen?
Hopefully never.
Right. Same movie. Same movie for Wrong Turn. They take a strand of barbed wire and it goes, and they put it in this person's mouth and they're like pulling it up and through, and they end up dragging this person back with barbed wire right through the center of their mouth right here. It's fucking atrocious.
Fuck. So I'll tell you what this is reminding me of, because you're talking about like inbred hillbillies.
Okay.
Cabin in the Woods.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Holy shit. Haven't we talked about that yet?
It's well, we're here now.
My God.
Go for it.
Maybe that's my favorite horror movie.
Yeah.
Because it's basically just all the crazy fun pulp aspects of horror movies rolled into one.
Yeah.
With some good fun. It's
Are there banjos?
have you seen
I've seen banjos.
Okay. Whew. I was about to freak out, man.
Silent sigh of relief.
Fucking Merman. That's just
Don't
good
do
stuff.
that.
That's
Don't do
good
that.
stuff. Oh, come on.
Have you watched Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Of course I
Have you watched Tucker and
I
Dale?
haven't
versus
seen that one yet.
Fired. Have you watched Tucker? You fired as well.
Oh my God, Alex,
You need it on your list.
Oh, it's
Tucker
on
and
my
Dale.
list.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
I
just
told
haven't
you about
gotten to it.
I told you about it the other day. It is freaking phenomenal.
That's just a concept by itself. That you're like,
How amazing is that, right?
Yep.
Because it sets the mold of, and I'm not going to. Yes, this is Spoilercast, and I have no quorum whatsoever about telling you about every fucking detail of this movie. But basically, just the highlight reel, and you can get it from the trailer. Okay,
Yeah.
Couple of guys, they're hillbillies. A group of college students. They're out in the middle of the woods, out in the middle of nowhere. So the kids are already pre-programmed with this idea that hillbillies are these dangerous, scary things, and we're out here in the middle of nowhere, right? And then these other guys are just socially awkward hillbillies.
yeah,
Right.
they're just out gonna fish, and
And they're just going up here to work on their newly acquired piece of
Oh, that's
property
it,
and
that's it.
fish,
Yeah.
and their vacation home.
yeah,
And so it's two preconceptions. They both kind of have these ideas in their heads where they're looking at the hillbillies are looking at them going, well, I can't approach these people, I can't talk to them, right? And they're looking at these people going,
yeah. But the hillbillies are like surprisingly normal. The
Yeah.
college kids are straight out of a like slasher flick in the way that you could strangle them with a cordless phone.
But it's fantastic, and just the way the whole thing kind of progresses along it's a really cool story.
Yeah.
And it kind of speaks volumes to those preconceived notions that people have about, it is definitely looking at somebody formulating an idea without knowing anything about that person, and you shouldn't do that.
Moral of the day,
right? But it reminds me of George Carlin talking about the silent ones. It's the silent ones that'll get you. He goes, it's not the silent one I'm fucking worried about. It's the guy in the corner with a machete going, I'm gonna kill the next motherfucker that comes in the door.
Yeah. So far, morals: don't judge people
Yes.
based on how they look. Murder children.
No.
No.
Good advice on the first one. Bad advice on the second one.
Hire someone to murder children for you.
The professional.
Yeah.
That's right. I tossed that out there.
Don't lose your virginity in the woods.
Otherwise, you'll get crushed to death in a
Yep.
sleeping bag by Jason.
Of-
didn't that scene start off with both those girls like totally topless, standing there like, ooh, what's going on? He like walks over, puts them in the bag, he starts crushing them because they were holograms. Wasn't that what it was? They're
Yeah.
holograms.
Yeah.
Why don't we just leave him in the hologram room? Just keep giving him things to kill in the hologram room. What is wrong with
He
that?
was in like his fantasy land.
Exactly.
Holodeck, like perfect.
Isn't that what that whole room was? It was like to
Mhm.
give you whatever it is you desire.
After everything that poor man has been through, he's been killed 4 or 5 times, depending on how many
Just
movies.
leave him alone.
Yeah,
Just leave him
he was
alone.
finally
Leave Jason
resting.
alone.
Just leave him alone. I never could figure out what was with the serpent worm teeth thingy that was coming through the mask in the one image.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know.
It's
So
not canon.
Wasn't that like a soul or something like that?
I don't fucking know. So okay, we have 5 minutes left to the end of the episode. This has flown by faster than
Wow.
anything else that I think
Yeah.
we've ever done.
This has been
Yeah.
insane.
Real quick though, because we have one last question that was sent to us. It says John Carpenter's The Thing versus the reboot.
Holy shit. The original,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because
that thing's a fucking monster.
oh my God.
That is the monster. I
and
think.
it holds up.
Mhm.
If you watch that now, it's the special effects in that movie are fucking disgusting.
Yup.
Like
Wait, which are the one with Kurt Russell, right?
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay,
Like
because
the original.
there's one before that. That was
Yeah.
a remake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
If you watch the original Halloween, one of the movies they're watching when she's babysitting the
Yep.
kids is the
It was
original.
the original thing.
Whoa, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Alright.
God.
Yeah. You should totally watch that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. You got something.
Oh
to do
yeah,
now.
the John Carpenter one with Kurt Russell is amazing.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a monster. That thing is the monster.
I'm talking about the one in the there's a dog and they're talking in Russian, I think, in the very beginning. And
Yeah. That's the Kurt Russell one, right?
Yeah.
okay. There's one before that?
No, it's the same storyline as that.
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's-
older.
well, they've got one 1982.
1950s or something like
Yeah.
that.
Rob, what are we looking?
looking for? It. This is the thing. 1982 Carpenter.
Okay.
I'm looking for the original one. And
Wow, that's a fun fact. I did not know that, but that's I guess the 1982 version for me would be not the one with Ramona Flowers in it.
Not the 2000 something one.
Yeah,
There's
See,
one
that one I actually found that one
2011?
interesting. I kind of liked that one.
it was a different take.
No, this
Yeah, it
thing-
was a
this
little
almost like an
thing from another world.
alternate timeline.
Well,
of
if
that.
in the beginning of the John Carpenter one, it's two guys in a helicopter chasing the dog, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
Norwegians from another camp
That's
over
it,
on
that's it,
Antarctica. The one that they did in the 2000s is that Norwegian camp. It's all the events that lead up to that dog being chased by the guys.
I see.
Okay,
So
so
actually, like midway through the credits, they cut to that dog taking off,
okay, so
and a helicopter that just flew in to help everybody. One of the Norwegians jumps on, and is like, "Follow that dog." It doesn't explain anything.
okay,
It sets up the opening of the John Carpenter 82 version.
Oh,
I kind of like that because I thought
are
it was
sure
going
we
to be a
don't have that,
reboot.
are we sure we don't have that backwards?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Because I'm looking at the thing 1982, which is what he's looking at, which looks like it's the first one, and then the 2011 one's the
It's like
subsequent?
a prequel.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, it's the initial finding of the spacecraft and the creature, and then it gets away disguised as a dog, and it comes upon the Kurt Russell camp.
I'm tracking now.
So it's kind of a weird setup, but I liked how they did that. And, I was pleased with it. It wasn't as good, but it wasn't as bad as
because
some reboots.
what's her name? Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
that's it.
She's in the
Flash.
2011 version.
Yep.
But then the 1982, is that right?
Yep.
1982 version. So that's the original.
Quotations.
No,
Okay.
That's
It's the original
Quotations.
1982, and then 2011 does the prequel to the 1982 one.
yes.
Draken?
Yep.
So the first one,
Quotations.
the first one in chronological events is the 2011 one into the 1982 one.
Right.
But for one to be shown first versus the other is the 1982 one, followed by the 2011 one. Is that correct?
Yeah.
There's not one prior to that.
There is.
There is. What's
There
it
is
called?
Indeed.
the thing from another world was 1951, and it's kind of the original movie.
There
Huh.
you go. Okay. Well, I saw you pull that title up, and I didn't know if it was the same.
Interesting.
There
Okay.
you go.
The original movie, Thing from Another World, 1951,
So-
took place at the North Pole. The version takes place at the South Pole. The newer version takes place at the South Pole. There you go. So that's what that is. 1951 is the one you're looking for. 2011, if you want to watch the prequel to the 1982 one. So now we're all up to speed. That topic is taken care of. We're at end credits at this point in time. Do you have anything you want to add?
I just want to say that I'm the only one who actually answered that question.
You are. You are. I love that movie. It's fantastic. It's terrifying. Wonderful monster.
Okay, so your answer to one or the other is yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I would say, yeah, it's a great movie. Love the
Okay.
movie.
fantastic.
Love the reboot as much as it could be.
There you go. So anything you want to add at this point in time?
Nope.
Diecast. We got Diecast coming up anytime soon.
Maybe.
How's the editing coming along with that?
Not so well.
When are you going to have an episode up?
Who knows? We'll find out.
Fantastic. Love the deadlines. Alexander, anything you'd like to add?
I got a random recommendation.
Okay. What is it?
It's a movie called Session 9. Takes place in an old abandoned mental or insane asylum. It's got Peter Mullen, David Caruso. It's a good movie. It's not your typical horror movie. It's a lot of psychological shit, though. So
All right, rock on.
I would recommend that.
Typically we start with it, but we'll end with it here. Spellbook Studios, anything going on over here with you all?
Same old. Dyer's plugging along, and Critter Catch and Undead Hero are out on the App Store, so you can check those out and give them a shot. Tib, of course, chunking along like normal. So
Fantastic.
I have a bone sticking in my jaw, so it kind of hurts to talk.
That's why I was minimalizing your part this evening.
True story.
So last thing for me, we went to, or I was on with Zombie Palooza Radio the other day, and I got to speak with them for a little while. Big shout out to them. They just had their 3-year anniversary over there with them. Good times there. Also want to say hey to the boys over there at Flick Freaks and Andrew and all that good business. We can have them back on again sometime soon. So rock on with them. They've got stuff going on. I know he's got a bunch of new shows and things of that nature, but
Yep.
And then last but not least, make sure you get over and check out our webpage, Facebook, our actual webpage, alltowermedia.com. We've also got a Patreon.
Yes,
Patreon
we do.
account.
We do have one of
thing.
those.
We should probably talk about that.
We should probably bring that up every single episode.
Every single episode, we're going to talk about the Patreon thing. You should go over there and check it out. Obviously go on and get yourself a t-shirt. I've got a t-shirt. Everyone want to see my t-shirt? Yeah. There it is. I don't know if you can actually see it or not. I can't see myself on the screen no more, so I don't know if you can see it. There it is. Yep, there. Yep. All-Tower Media. So go over there and get yourself a shirt. You can get yourself set up with some of the card games. I know you can pre-order that stuff at this point in time. So we've got that actually getting ready to release sometime here pretty quick. It'll be the end of December, beginning of January is the time frame we're aiming at, and you might even see us at VisionCon upcoming. Let's see here. This says http://patreon.com/All-Tower Media. So make sure you get over there and check that out. That's listed right there on our Facebook's webpage. So get over there and check that out. Check out Spellbook and all their stuff. And lastly, D.A. Roberts, the Ragnarok Rising series and Dark Water Fiction. Get over there and check out their stuff as well. They got a bunch of new things that are always rolling out. And all of this stuff intertwines upon itself. And thank you very much for listening. It's been a great episode. Mike, good job.
Thank you.
You going to be at the next one?
Yep.
Okay. Alex, I'll have you on again at some point in time in the near future. I need to find another slot that we can fit you in where you can contribute like this. It's excellent. Jareth, we've missed you. Allie, thanks for all the messages. Other than that, boys and girls, it has been a great episode, and I'll say it for Jareth. You ready? Bye, internets.
Oh, I thought you were going to say scraw.
Cloaca.
Cloaca. We've nailed all of his catch lines.
Smush the cat.
We can go out on that, I suppose. Oh, I've been told to say Bob's your uncle.
Bob is your uncle. Do you have to close the chat?
I think I have to close the chat. So I'm going to close the chat. Rob, are you ready to go offline, sir?